Hello, and welcome back to Let's Talk About It Tuesday, Part 3. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about on this Let's Talk About It Tuesday, plus a really long article. So, I probably shouldn't be giving as much commentary, but I'm going to start off with a little bit, just a little bit more. So, I know I brought up the word patriarchs in the last video where it said God, He took a few patriarchs and started to list them Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, but I also know that you might have a reaction, think like, why patriarchs, right? So I would really highly recommend this book that I like to call her my friend because she's an old friend, wrote, and her name is Wendy Alsop, and the book Is the Bible Good for Women? Really good book, and I really highly recommend that you read it. Okay, so with that said, no further ado, I will continue the article, which is called From the Got Questions site, Old Covenant versus New Covenant. What are the differences? Okay, leaving off with the part that I just said about the patriarchs. Yeah, he took just a few patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and grew their descendants, speaking about the Old Covenant, the working arrangement that God had with Israel in the Old Testament that it talks about, and grew their descendants into a great nation, and gave them a land, Canaan, and his law to live by. See Exodus 20 and following. The Israelites were to remain loyal to God, obeying Him and worshiping Him alone. If they did, He promised to bless them. And if they did not, He promised they would be chastened. See Deuteronomy chapters 27 through 28. God established a sacrificial system that would allow them to be cleansed temporarily from their sins. But these sacrifices had to be repeated over and over. He ordained priests to represent the people before him, as the people could never come directly into the presence of God. And even with these accommodations, the nation as a whole was unfaithful and eventually fell under the judgment of God. Okay? Because, of course, there was the Garden of Eden and the original sin that was still in their blood, right? And that's how they were born into. Jeremiah prophesied that judgment was coming upon the nation of Israel, but he also told the nation that something better was coming. The days are coming, quote, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the people of Israel and with the people of Judah. It will not be like the covenant I made with their ancestors when I took them from the hand to lead them out of Egypt, because they broke my covenant, though I was a husband to them. Okay? And the church is the bride, but we'll get into that later. Declares the Lord. This is a covenant I will make with the people of Israel. After that time, declares the Lord, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. No longer will they teach their neighbor or say to one another, know the Lord, because they will all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, probably age-wise, declares the Lord. For I will forgive their wickedness and will remember their sins no more. Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 34. In this new covenant, God said, Israel will be restored. Sins will be finally forgiven. People will know God directly. And they will have His law written on their hearts so that they will want to obey Him. The law under the Old Covenant was never a means to salvation.